There are a lot of people, almost everybody, who says, I want to go into business. I'm going to be a businessman. And, so they have a good concept of business because they see a lot of business going on. They see a lot of individuals who are in business who have done well and who are doing well. But it's more than a notion. A lot of people don't realize what it takes to be successful in business. Even people who got skills, other kinds of skills, like being a carpenter or an artist or a musician or what have you. So they think that because they have that technical skill, then they are prepared to go into business and be successful in business. But it's a different discipline, so it takes more training and more knowledge, etc., in order to be in the business. But guess what? You ain't luck. We've got a young man with us today whose passion and whose mission is to assist people in the going into business to the extent that he's going to even have an event. So his primary objective is to kind of educate and solicit individuals in the community, throughout the community, who are interested in starting a business. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
My guest today is Mr. J.R. Mcnair. Now, I know, I just know that he got a real name, but that's how he goes, because it sounds so distinguished. J.R. Mcnair, it works, it works, because I think people remember it, because the initial J.R., they're kind of known by everybody, or by most people throughout the world.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy to have him today, and as I said, he's a business enthusiast and a business professional, and a business educator, and a business developer, and a business initiator. So he's got all these qualifications, and he's going to have this event. So how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be sitting down with you. Your reputation precedes you in this region, and I'm just glad to be here.
I left my checkbook in the car.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I'm glad you're here, too, and it's my pleasure, and I appreciate those kind words. So first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a Georgia boy. I was actually born in Middle Georgia. My dad's side of the family is from Middle Georgia, but we moved back into Atlanta when I was a child. I played. I was a hometown sports hero in Atlanta. I won a couple state championships in wrestling and football. Got a scholarship, went up to college. I started a couple companies when I was younger, and because I came up in a family where we weren't poor, but it was 7 people in one household. So my mom said at an early age, she said, "Baby, you're not the only child." So I had to figure out other ways to make things happen. So entrepreneurship was that outlet. First day I went out, 10 years old, I made $200 in one weekend. Cutting a lot of grass. It was probably $1,000 worth of work, but
that's okay.
And then I got bit by that bug. I bought my first piece of real estate when I was 14. And we just kind of transitioned going forward from that point. In college, I started a company, and the rest kind of went from there. I turned down 2 six-figure job offers when I was graduating college to pursue entrepreneurship. I went overseas to play football and came back into the States and opened up an office with about $600 and negotiated the first and last month rent with the landlord. He let me in on a barter. I did his website in exchange for deposit, and we got in there. First month, the rent came. I was, thank God.
Yeah.
Second month, the rent came. I said, all right. Third month, we had to hire one person, 2 people. And before the end of that year, I was 23, 24. We did $250,000 our first year in business. And since that point, we went on to probably help right under 5,000 business. I think we're like 41, 49, 43 or something around there of companies we've supported or helped in some capacity along the way.
So you do business consulting and business development?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Our company that we first started back in 2002 and opened up our first office in 2005 is kind of mixed between like a LegalZoom and a branding house. We would set up their corporations or 501c3s, do their business plans, and then we would set up their websites. But funny thing was when we would set those things up and people would go off and they would come back and say, you know what, JR, we need some money. Thank you for setting up my business, but we need some money. And I said, well, I can't help you there. And after about 10 people coming to us and asking us that, then we said, well, maybe we need to figure out a way to assist these people. So we started helping people to raise money. And back before the 2008 hit, we were helping people raise over $1 million a month for their companies. So we've had a couple different great experiences that have led us to where we are today.
Right. Okay, that's a good entree into what we're going to talk about. It's my understanding, and of course I do know, this is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Taverson, interviewing Mr. J.R. Mcnair,
yes, sir.
Who's got this great event coming up in April.
Yes, sir.
At the Centroplex.
Yes, sir.
And tell us about that. First of all, kind of give us some background on it, and then talk about the event specifically.
Well, entrepreneurship is a funny thing, especially in the United States right now. You would think with all the entrepreneurship is at an all-time high. Actually, it's at a 35-year low. People, regardless if it's student loan debt or whatever, or it's people not knowing how, they're just not actually going into business for themselves. They might have the idea of doing it, but just not actually stepping out to make those things happen. We wanted to actually change that. We wanted to have an event. I would go to a lot of conferences and things, and when I left the conference, it was like I got good information, but it was still something empty. I felt like I wasn't had any real takeaways, and so I said I wanted to start a company, start an event to where when they would actually leave, they would have a company that they launched. And so we kind of been working on this off and on with my team over the past 8 years, but it just wasn't the right time, and we really didn't have the model fully worked out. And the work we've been doing in the community here to help launch the accelerator that we've launched out of Middle Georgia, and the companies we've helped down here, and the momentum that was happening in the community and around entrepreneurship and business, we felt that this was the right time to make something happen as far as entrepreneurship and helping people launch. So in this area, we are on April the 7th at the Centroplex. We're going to be launching Small Business Day Making. We're going to take Small Business Day all across the nation, various cities all across the nation. But the first city that we're going to ever have it in is going to be right here in the great city, in this great region of Middle Georgia, right here in Macon. So we're very excited. We're going to take people hand walking them through the startup process, where we're going to be taking them through a series of classes. They're going to sit one-on-one with consultants that are going to help them. We're going to have experts there that will be answering questions, Q&A. But for attending through the startup process, they're going to receive a free voucher for a free corporation, a free website, and several months of hosting. They're going to receive online access to our education platform, Start It, Grow It, as well as a t-shirt and all the other many things they'll just get for attending free of charge.
Okay, so you're saying if there's someone who really, kind of think in their mind that they want to go into business, and they already kind of, they should have an idea of what kind of business they want to start.
Well, look, this is the thing. A lot of times in business, what I've seen with a lot of entrepreneurs, and you probably can tell all your years in business, your business might have started out as one thing. But then as you got more information from the market and your customers gave you feedback, it might have morphed into something else. What I see a lot of times in business, Sony started out as a fabric company making fabrics, but now we know they're nowhere in fabrics, right? They're electronics and things of that nature. So what we're trying to get people to do is, if you might have an idea, but that idea more than likely is going to change. What we want to do is get people to commit to starting a business and being an entrepreneur. Because as an entrepreneur, you might go in various facets or various
So they don't have to
trajectories.
already say that I want to open up a barbershop or a clothing store. They just need to be desirous, if you please, of going into business and launching a business. Then you will give them the processes and the rudiments and the details on starting a business.
Yes, sir. That's exactly right. And the one thing is, what we're doing is giving the base foundation. One of the great things that we're going to have there also are vendors in the community, various people that will support systems. Like we had an opportunity to sit down with the Innovation Center or the SBDC, Spark Making, all these different resources that are in the community. Once we get these organizations going and they get excited about it, we want to continue to plug them in with local resources that can help them as they go forward.
Right. Okay, so kind of slowly, let's start with somebody who hears this interview, and then they say, I want to be a part of that. So let's slowly walk us through doing what's necessary to be a part of it, and though you've touched on it, what they can expect, what kind of activity, experiences that they can expect once they come to this Small Business Day.
Yes, sir. So they can go to smallbusinessday.com and go to there to actually register via our website, or they can go on our Eventbrite. If you put in anything dealing with small business in this region in Macon and Eventbrite, you'll also be able to pull up that way organically. Now, once you get to the event is free. It's free of charge, but you have to do online registration.
That's important.
That is too. And the thing is, right now, our numbers at this point of the game, at the stage of the game, far exceed what our expectations were. So if you're going to reserve the time to do it, would be now, because we're going to probably have to cut it off at some point in time, because the response has been overwhelming. And so go online, reserve. When you get there that day, you'll go through batches every hour on the hour, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, so on. They're going to go through batch processes where they'll go through a series of classes, and then they'll go sit down with consultants, and they'll go to their Q&A. Then at 11 o'clock, it'll be the same thing. We're just be hand walking you through it. But from that point, we're going to give you resources that you can take with you afterwards to help support you on your way.
And those resources include a voucher for the creating entity, LLC or what have you.
Yes, sir.
And a voucher for a website.
Yes, sir, as well as a membership to our online training program.
Right. So you were saying that you don't have to be a certain age, have so much money, don't have to live in a certain neighborhood, or don't have to have a family history of business. One just needs a desire. Talk about that.
The funny thing is, we had a gentleman that reached out to us and said, my child is 5 years old. We had started coming to them. Is there age? I said, listen, I don't care as long as you can articulate your business. I don't care how old or how young you are. Because let me tell you something. A lot of people don't realize that the Colonel from Kentucky Fried Chicken didn't start his company until later in his when he was well past his 60s, when he actually got it started, and that's one of the biggest brands we know on earth, right?
Yeah.
So and as young as certain individuals, I met an 18-year-old a young man at Mercer who was making over $220,000 a month selling e-commerce products. So you can't really as long as you have a desire and you're willing to learn, then we can help you.
So that's the primary criterion in order to go into business. Well, invite them again. You do your 1 minute drill as it relates to what you're having, and do your commercial.
Yes, sir. Well, if you are interested in starting a company, if you already have a company and you're looking to launch another one or just get more information, April 7th, 2018 at the Macon Centralplex, Small Business Day Macon. We will be there assisting you in all stages of your business development to help you get your company launched and going. We appreciate Macon, and we love this region, and we look forward to great things happening in Middle Georgia.
You got to register. Tell them about the registration.
The registration is at smallbusinessday.com. That's smallbusinessday.com. Or you can register via Eventbrite, Small Business Day, Macon.
This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, having interviewed Dr. J.R. Mcnair, a business developer and entrepreneur personified. Good luck, man.
Thank you so much.
What you're doing, and I appreciate your comment to help these businesses.
Thank you.
This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham. Don't even know my name. Alex Habersham, and I'll see you at Small Business Day on April the 7th.
Yes, sir.
Have a great day.
Thank you.